Live from the Bay Area's news station, this is the KRON 4 Morning News.
Well, good Monday morning to you. It is 4 a.m. A live picture here of the Bay Bridge span. Beautiful looking bridge, isn't it? And traffic on the span moving well. No problems to be reported to you this morning. The CHP says it's all clear. Weather-wise, a little cool out there. We'll have a full look at the forecast coming up in just a moment. But we do want to begin with our top story at 4 a.m. You know, it had a good run. But today, the Cash for Clunkers program will officially come to an end. The program, as a matter of fact, will shut down at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Over the weekend, of course, there were long lines at Bay Area dealerships as last-minute shoppers rushed to grab the deals. KRON 4's Maureen Kelly takes us there.
Here at Fremont Toyota, the sales staff have been working nearly non-stop for almost a month as car buyers continue to crowd their showroom. Under the Cash for Clunkers program, they've sold $17 million worth of new cars. They're sold out of many models. This Corolla you see here is one of only 2 left on the lot. Here's a good indicator of how well this program is working for this dealer. Check this out. Look at all of these empty spaces. This is where they normally park the new cars. This dealer usually keeps around 750 new cars on this lot. Right now, they're down to just 50. Now, they are expecting another shipment of new inventory to come in today, but they're not expecting that to last long because lately they've been selling those cars and trucks before their wheels touch the ground.
Customers are waiting. They'll pick out the one they want. They'll say, oh, we want that one, and that's it. They don't even care on color anymore.
Where they park the sold cars is full up, and what's really jam-packed is over here, where they're stashing all of the gas guzzlers that have been turned in. There are 475 clunkers parked on this lot. To the dealership, these cars represent the more than $2.5 million the government owes them. They have so many clunkers clogging the lot here at Fremont Toyota that in some places they are double parking them. And check it out, in this aisle, they're actually triple parking them. Some of the salesmen here haven't taken a day off since the program began, and while they'll be happy to get a break when it stops, they're hoping that Congress starts it up again when they're back in session.
Forget sleeping. We want to sell cars.
In Fremont, Maureen Kelly, KRON 4 News.
We're also following the latest details this morning out of that murder involving a reality TV celebrity. Canadian police say they have found that suspect in the case dead from apparent suicide. Ryan Jenkins is his name, and his body was found in a motel in British Columbia. He's depicted there on the left side of your screen. An international manhunt, of course, has been ongoing for him after he murdered his ex-wife, Bonnie Doon native Jasmine Fiore, there on the right. She was found last weekend near Los Angeles. Police don't yet know how long Jenkins was at that motel before his body was discovered. Also this morning, following the latest now in the search for that missing 5-year-old boy in the East Bay. This morning, there's a new website out there. It has been created, that is, in the hope that it might help in the search for Hassani Campbell. KRON 4's Sarah Peel has the story.
The website, findhassani.com, is expected to be launched at some point tomorrow. It's essentially going to be a one-stop shopping where you can find out everything you need to know about the 5-year-old little boy who went missing nearly 2 weeks ago. Among other things, the site will have the latest information on searches for Hassani, where they've already looked, and where they'll look next.
For public awareness. You know, we want the public to be more informed on what's going on with searches for Hassani, anything that if they want to volunteer to help. It's strictly about Hassani. We need to know for the vigil tomorrow.
As a small business owner specializing in t-shirt printing, Sherry Lynn Miller knew she could help get Hassani's image out there on t-shirts like these. The website, she says, is just a continuation of that effort.
Why not? Somebody has to step up and help, and being a small business owner and being able to print flyers and make t-shirts is something that they need.
The site will also include ways to volunteer, ways to donate to a reward fund, have a calendar of events and vigils, but will also have tools she hopes will help bring a little boy home.
I would hope that everybody does download the flyer and print it out. Again, I can't stress enough, tape a flyer in the back of your car. If you don't have a flyer, you can come by here, pick up a flyer. I'll even tape it in the car for you.
Sarah Peel, KRON 4 News.
And of course, we're continuing coverage. Keep it tuned here to KRON 4. We're going to stay abreast of this story, and we'll also have the latest details on our website as well. In fact, we have a special section on KRON4.com where you can find those stories and links related to this story about missing 5-year-old Hassani Campbell. KRON4.com. Check it out. All right, at 4:05, we also want to get an update on this Monday morning's forecast. Drew Harmon following all that. Morning, Drew.
Good morning, James. We are looking at conditions. If you liked what we saw yesterday, then good news, you're in for more of it today. Temperatures are going to be just a little bit below average as well, getting to the mid-60s by Thursday and hitting the 70-degree mark as we head into Friday. Time to get a check of some traffic now. Want to let you know about some construction out there. Could cause you some minor delays. Right now, 101 southbound in the Burlingame area, we have some closure, in fact, complete closure of the freeway between Broadway and Poplar. This is at the Golden Gate, only at 21 minutes. No problems there, no obstacles or anything to get in your way on the southbound side of 101. James?
All right, Drew, thank you much. Now on to some prices at the pump this morning. The cost of gasoline across the country hasn't changed much over the last 2 weeks. In fact, it's still about $2.63 a gallon on average. Here in California, the average price per gallon is about $3.04. And as you can see, Oakland and San Jose both are clocking up about $3.05 an average. And San Francisco, the most expensive of them all, no big surprise there, $3.13 for an average gallon of regular gas. Now to some other headlines around the Bay that we're following for you this morning. The two young brothers dead after a shooting early yesterday morning in Fairfield. If you haven't heard the story, here's what happened. Police say someone shot 18-year-old Raymond Franco and 20-year-old Aiden Franco around 4:15 Sunday morning. It happened to the 1400 block of Utah Street. Investigators don't think this was a random attack. They think the two were targeted in some way. Anyone with information, though, is asked to call Fairfield Police. Meanwhile, police in Fairfield are calling a weekend DUI checkpoint a success. They arrested 6 people, issued 6 citations, and towed 11 cars. They say 3 people were arrested for driving under the influence, 2 for outstanding warrants, and 1 for public intoxication. Meanwhile, police in Petaluma were also busy after conducting 2 DUI checkpoints. They arrested 10 people, towed about 7 vehicles, and of those 10 arrests, 2 were for DUI, 2 were for driving with a suspended license, and 5 for driving without a license at all. The checkpoints were part of a drunken driving campaign that will continue now through September 7th. Meanwhile, a Bay Area community is coming to grips this morning with another death involving a young person. A 13-year-old girl was killed by a Caltrain Friday night. It happened at the same spot where 2 others died recently. KRON 4's Jeff Bush tells us what Caltrain says needs to be done.
It happened here Friday night at the East Meadows crossing. Caltrain officials say a teenage girl was struck by a train. Officials say it was apparently a suicide. Officials say the girl walked in front of the passing train at 10:45. There was nothing the engineer could have done to stop the train in time. Mark Simon is a spokesman for Caltrain.
At their top speed, they go 79 miles an hour. They weigh a million pounds. It takes more than a half a mile for them to stop.
Sheriff's deputies have been at this crossing all weekend. Caltrain officials say a tragedy like this is sad for the victim and the victim's family, but something like this can be devastating for the engineer. Like this.
Well, as you can imagine, it is immensely and intensely traumatic for those engineers. It's not unusual when they hit somebody for that person to lock eyes with them before the train collides with the person. It is a very painful thing, and many of them have a lot of difficulty recovering from it.
Simon says Caltrain has improved the safety features of the crossing, but says the community needs to take a hard look at the reason why someone would choose to end their life at such a young age.
And we think it's time for this community to begin to have a meaningful dialogue about mental health, about depression, and about suicide. These are issues people don't talk about openly. And I know we're committed to joining a community mental health task force that isn't forming at this time to try and really begin to talk to people about the idea that there's hope, that there are alternatives, and that there's help available.
In Palo Alto, Jeff Bush, KRON 4 News.
All right, 4:11 the time. We're going to take a quick break here, but we'll be back with more in just a moment, so stay with us for that. In fact, the latest with that fire burning in the Santa Cruz Mountains. Firefighters reached a huge milestone over the weekend. We'll tell you about that in just a moment. Let's go outside, though, give you a quick look here from our roof camera where you can see there is a little fog out there. Not too bad, though. Clear enough here on the street to see the buildings back there. We'll have more of the forecast, though, coming up in a moment with Drew. Stand by.